Radio sHAZZBOT.
Issue 02, January 2024.
Post Office Spot. Episode 0201.
The Green Moron Corn Brothers U. Shower days, food and such.
Or
Just the blips. Not LA, where's my cheese slice?
a 16 cartoon improv radio script.
By J. Drewster Poindexter.
Episode titles from NoFX Ribbed, 1991.
Scene 1.
Post office pup feels rejected when he finds out that there is talk of building a state prison on the site of his childhood playground that is currently being used as an ancient entertainment graveyard. Like in Poultry Jest. The current governor's plans also involve other intolerable acts of aesthetic cruelty.
Panel 1.
Post office pup.
Did your sent email come up reading fatal errors after that last one too, Kimmy? The royal neighbors will be crawling out of the wormwoods again after I send off this next email message to the governor's palace like I used to tell my sister your mother. It's sure a thin line between hostility and humor these days.
Kimmy.
Well, just like most elected officials, Bubba Gubba Nassain Diablo is a raging egomaniac who treats his voters like an unpleasant odor once he is elected and then changes the locks on the mansion overnight after the election day. We need 1 or 2 more complete maniacs and a few fewer total lice men in public office in Cartoonfernia. Why are they always these closeted serial moms on the reptilian side? I'm just kidding, of course. Haha, get it, moms before liberty.
Panel 2.
Kimmy.
And did you see his new bill intended to warehouse high-income voters into low-energy housing projects? Even those fools will end up getting ghosted like always, just like in chess. The pawns always go first, and just like in checkers, it'll soon end up being every chip for himself.
Post office pup.
Well, he won't be the first one with the chip on his shoulders soon to be chipped off by the old voting bloc, will he? Did you see that op-ed piece in the Main Street Journal? It made some very valuable monetary points. I think we should go down there to his offices with a spray paint can box and do some crime item vetoes while they still time.
Kimmy.
You're funny, Uncle Pup, but getting funny looks isn't everything. If I'd have known you were coming, I'd have baked a prison cake with iron bar filing in it, but you could drive a prison cake truck through the laugh tracks on his latest caper as it is. Isn't there some good news that we could talk about instead?
Panel 3.
Post office pup.
Well, Kimmy, there's talk now of building a new state prison on the site of my old childhood playground, although the site is currently being used as an ancient entertainment burial grounds.
Kimmy.
But didn't we learn anything from Jordan's Peels and Us or them? You don't go dancing on unmarked graves in the entertainment business unless you want a TV living room full of Mickey Mouse lawyers and Disney duck poultrygeists. Methinks?
Post office pup.
Hey, I just can't. Dude, I have both a Tinder account and a Sub-Grinder Hero account. Nothing gets past me, I cover all the basers. I have res now, you know.
Panel 4.
Kimmy.
They say it's like a Thanksgiving Day football dinner at your weird auntie's house. Sometimes it's better to pass than to receive, and I'm certainly not a faith healer, but it's funny that they went ahead and stopped using faith healers in emergency rooms during those Thanksgiving Day football dinners.
Post Office Spot.
So what you're saying is that I should look within. Well, some of this stuff is just too big and juicy to ignore. They say that democracy dies in darkness. If that's so, a joker like Governor Saint Diablo will be the dude there with the flashlight and the shadowy hand puppets and the campaign buttons on display, just sort of encouraging it on. And then you say, are you sure that dude with the shadowy hand puppets isn't you, Uncle Pup? And then I say, well, my granddog had Scientologists to defend against during World War II, and now we have our own Scientologists to defend against, in the best way we know how. So some things will never change though, really.
Panel 5.
Kimmy.
Hey, if sending paper planes against the machine is the best way you know how to fight against this stuff, instead of yawning at the local school board meetings or participating in the 2-man march on the governor's mansion, I guess you can count on my full support. Uncle Pup, is that my cell phone ringing? I bet you didn't know I knew so much about Congolese and Bosnian jazz folk show tunes. Did you? Near, I should put this ringtone on my grocery store playlist. It might song fail on the desert island playlist though, cause there's no electricity on a desert island near T.
Post office pup.
Oh, you have outstanding taste. Can you take that in the hallway? I have to finish this latest anonymous Yelpster comment. And we don't know who might be listening, do we? Kimmy, my iPhone has already taken on an ominous ringtone of its own. Now, plus, it started to make fun of me by picking out still-ified app recordings like that singing Wise Guy car in Stephen Kingston's The Christ Teens. Or maybe like Blunderbuss, that one robot car in the Downshifters movie series. By the way, was this Phil Collins a real person? And if so, what was he famous for? I mean, how am I supposed to react to that? You know?
Panel 6.
Kimmy.
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a music quiz. Well, paranoia is just around the corner, you know? As if you needed an excuse. Oh, he just left a message. This is a message from Bob. my old college thirsting buddy. He's going to be in town for a few days, and I told him he could crash out here on the couch in the double-wide trailer. He'll be here tomorrow afternoon.
Scene 2.
When Kimmy's old college friend turns up at the door of the double-wide post office, Bob thinks that the old college friend will take Kimmy away with him to the exotic Eastern European country that he appears to be from.
Panel 1.
Post office pub.
And of course, on every other metric Wednesday, the lady with the glasses on top of her hair extensions and with the color-coded 12-year community college viral-bound notebooks stops by to work with the exceptionally misguided children, and there are 40 of them who come over to babysit for themselves. It's mostly applied astrophysics and theoretical microbiology. And then there's their thermonuclear fundamentals of ukulele coaching. Frankly, but after that, the smart TV is yours. Bob, haha. Kidding. You should have seen that paranoid look travel across your face.
Kimmy.
Well, I finally found the toggle switch to this remote control ghetto blaster. It's funny how when we were in college we used to need drugs to get confused by these routine household electronics gadgets.
Panel 2.
Bob.
Hey, I bet I remember more weird backstory shite about our college years than you do. Kimmy, I once saw Wayne Country and the Electric Prunes like about 6 times in one weekend while they were on a selfie sofa photo op tour and doing in-store concerts in, like, the nearby town's local people's living rooms. And they shot to number 4 on the CMJ Prowler alert charts the very next weekend before they were soon to be cited for trespassing on tour in Tours, France, and really got infamous.
Kimmy.
Hey, did you see that new multiplex Barbie Heimler maneuver movie? Well, throw another Malibu Barbie Hummer adventure camper on the Barbie bin heap of bargain bin history. Bob Mario Rabies must have sold out or something, didn't she? People just worship these franchises and brands now. It's not like when we were in school she used to be like Lady Deadful girl in the movies or something. She used to represent, didn't she? She used to be into that nudgy, sardonical humor.
Panel 3.
Post office pub.
Highly oversaturated riboflavin rice wheels, serum cholesterol wheat particle loafers, and high fructose corn matter materials. No, I'm not making fun of what you two used to eat in college. I'm just making up a tofu party grocery list. Don't mind me, kids, it's just the local haunt. Oh, now this is something new. A popsicle and a banana for lunch. On the upper decks, they call this the supermodel Grand Slam buffet type meal deal. Never mind me. How you kids just get reacquainted. Do you know what the time it is, by the way, Kimmy?
Bob, hey, thanks, Uncle Pop. You know, for an old guy you still manage to stay current, don't you?
Post office pub.
Well, I do the best with what I got. But you know, when you consider the typical virulent disease model and the fact that the more mutations that occur in a system, or the more mutations that a society is given access to, things start to get real hardcore real fast when it comes to the upper registers of the COVID-20 or 21 point spread or so, especially at this late of an hour morning, and it's certainly nothing to sneeze at. But, hey, where are you from anyway? Bob, you dress kind of funny. You're not a teacher at one of those high-pregnancy, all-Catholic girls' school nunneries, are you? Say, I'm not keeping you two kids from anything, am I? How did you two meet again? I forgot to ask you that. It must be just me watching out for my little Kimmy. Again?
Panel 4.
Kimmy.
You'll have to please excuse my dear Uncle Post Office Bob. There, Bob. He usually just asks the kinds of questions that he doesn't want the answers to, and he's usually a bit more understanding anyway. Of course, Bob and I met when I was in college about 20 years ago. I met him through some friends. You remember me bringing him home a few times, don't you? It was back when the worst thing a politician could do was admit to having experimented with home crafts a little bit in college. Well, I met Bob when I was experimenting a little bit with home crafts in college. Bob is a Rosicrucian wizard now. Mad respect, and that's why he dresses so funny.
Post office pub.
Well, you're not thinking of taking my favorite niece away to one of those dark Pennsylvania movie castles, are you, Bob? Or are you, Bob?
Bob.
Hey, I don't make the laws of physical attraction. I'm not like Sir Isaac Newton-John's Let's Get Metaphysical or something. I just want what's best for your little sister's little girl. I made a promise to. But it wasn't like a dark oath or anything.
Panel 5.
Post office pub.
Well, if there's ever anything I can do for you, you know to speed your little half-hour business trip along in any way.
Kimmy.
Whoa, beige flags all over the playing field on that one, Uncle Pop. Would you call a bored again type a hypocrite if he looked at a female Catholic bishop as if she was wearing a Halloween costume? Okay, bad example. Come on, Uncle Pop. I'm not going to run away with this guy. Bob I's just an old college thinking buddy. But where did my little dog Skittles go off to? She's usually not shy about meeting academic smelling types who are dressed in black robes and carrying candelabras. She usually just thinks that they're the Amazon's prime dudes at the door with a deliverance or something. Anyway, where did she go?
Post office pub.
Well, your dog Skittles is really spooked, Kimmy. She's too afraid to even come out from under your bed to say hello. Who is this Bob guy? Anyway, and what's a Rosicrucian wizard? We've got to get to the bottom of this little mystery caper. And that's why the Astrolabe CC invented the Wikipedia Encyclopedia. So you could look people like him up and do a background mirror check like the marquee poet at the neighborhood laundromat once put it. A good set of Wikipedia encyclopedias can add to the values of any trailer court, double-wide motor home.
Panel 6.
Kimmy.
He was sort of becoming insufferable even back when we were in school. Bob, I apologize, but who knew that after he retired from his old Different Facts TV series that he'd become a dark absurdist, surrealist, existentialist, dad humor-dadaist Irish setter, playwright, and a fine weekend bowler too, right Uncle Pup?
Post office pup.
Well, I've heard that a good writer will toss his own granddaughter under the bowling ball cleaner machine just to get off a decent character assassination. Sorry, Bob. Or should I just call you Friendly Bob, the Tri-County Quilted Fabric and Upholstery King and co-owner and Dark Fiend Lord Operator of Saturn's Lunchbox, it says here in the Wikipedia entry. I bet this well-lit, situationalists, drawing room entertainment might seem a bit ridiculous to a big deal business matters type of sort like you.
Bob.
Well, sacrifices to have to be made, and civilizations are a specialty. Haha. I remember that Kimmy he dabbled in homecraft notions and embroidered accessories when we were in college. Kimmy. Now, about that Cotton Queen swimsuit and white dress volcano competition that I said I was throwing later in the week. It's not exactly a popularity contest, per se.
Scene 3.
The local news is on. It has returned to the local market, with the Peterson family news team reporting.
Panel 1.
Sissy Peterson.
And that one was recorded by the Hey I'm just Reethon and it's those dudes who keep on beating up on my songs, but it's nothing to get excited about. Project Experience, from an early demo of his second, another green-flavored Ice Scoop World CD, entitled You Picked a Fine Time to Leave Me, Tenuous Grip on Reality. A number that later became one of the greatest songs the Whom ever recorded, Mary Annie with the Snake Oil Hands, played for you here on Weird Little The Whom Song Friday Favorites. And just remember, the Weird Little The Whom songs made up much of the band's greatest works.
Skippy Peterson.
And I'm Skippy Peterson on the Peterson Family News Network. Next up, my sister Sassy wants to give you the traffic status report. Hold on, I think she's getting an eyewitness interview from the neighbor, Mr. Mud Grande, who makes the morning commute back and forth from the local Mr. Mud Busty's Dress for Less Halter Top Emporium Stockroom Showroom Graveyard Shift. Well, Sassy is well rounded and around here somewhere, anyway.
Panel 2.
Sassy Peterson.
And we will have that eyewitness report a little later on the Peterson Family News Network during our Here on the Flagpole, Flagstaff in report, and one of the middle daughters, Sassy, with a new segment on the closed circuit network. And now, here's my dad telling a few of his he thinks he's so all that jokes.
Sonny Peterson.
Hi kids, I'm Sonny Peterson, the dad. And these jokes might be a little PG-17 for a few of the home viewers. If so, just turn down your TV and go check on the iguana cage in the other room for a minute. The iguana might have taken a chunk out of the baby again, but for me this is no nightmare. This is the realization of a dream.
Panel 3.
Sonny Peterson.
Ahem. He thinks he's so all that he fell asleep at the beach and the beachgoers thought it was snowing. He thinks he's so all that the blushing bride's wedding dress can't but feel tarnished in his presence. Greenshoot and Andy, he thinks he's so all that Moby the whale called and he wants his white back, and Andy, he thinks he's so all that he gives the other members of his church group a ring around the collar.
Shasta Peterson.
Thank you all for saving your laughter until after the end of his routine. We'll be right back with more of the Peterson Family News Network on closed circuit iPad channel 4671 L11B 5872 16JG right after this message.
Panel 4.
Shasta Peterson.
And we're back. And now for something completely distant. It's Emil Durkheim's Anime Workshop. My other brother Snoopy Peterson makes puppets at a special puppet making school. He's gifted like that, and today is no different. Welcome his next exciting production. A funny thing happened on the way to the floor mat.
Snoopy Peterson.
Well, it's not actually called that. It's just a working title that I'm going to run up the flagpole and see if anything sticks. Or maybe I'll throw it up against the wall and see if anybody salutes. Just please, Mr. Infamy, just make the sound of the chirping crickets in the back row stop. Okay there. Thank you. I can't hear the crickets anymore. And lastly, bring back more local programming. This has been the Peterson Family News Network reporting.
Panel 4.
Post office pup. On his cell phone.
It's like a Star Search reunion movie. It's the law of diminishing returns with some of these new news networks. I mean, pull yourselves up by your mic stands. Peoples, I might still be interested in the news that's made up local like it was 30 years ago. Too, but with the fake weather and artificial intelligence sports and the endless half-assed local features. Well, at least the Dinosaur Juniors and the Tropical Panel discussion. Sunday morning TV wrestling shows are still adding something to their own catalogs. But some of these other guys and dolls are just crowding the collective in consciousness plates. Really? But regarding my own opinion, I think some of these production crews should maybe just write and create music for the soundtracks of movies that the news fans would want to watch, yeah. In a perfect world, right? And quit trafficking and cashing in on their past glories. Talk about playing a little kid's game. Talk about an opioid of the news people. But these downloads are just my 2 cents. Really?
Panel 5.
Kimmy.
Well, Bob, I dated an unlicensed sex robot for a few weeks, but his idea of a 3-way was with like the toaster and the microwave oven. You know what I'm saying? But at least I would get the microwave popcorn for free. Well, you know how it is. Do the robot used to mean something totally different when we were in school? What about your dating life, Bob?
Bob.
Kimmy, I had my good eye trained on this Russian immigrant doll. And then I met her beautiful young wife. And I mean, they were so cute together. I just didn't want to interrupt the energy. Not that I ever really could or anything, so I had her immediately extradited back to the Soviet bloc. Instead, she broke my heart. Bless her heart, and I bet she doesn't even look good in flip-flops anymore.
Panel 6.
Post office pup. Still on his cell phone.
So anyway, I'd like to buy a block of 18 front row kits and rent a volleyball court up front so I can get some pretty decent pictures in case any one of the performers on the Carrot Top tour wants to serve a few sets. What's that? Like $16? What do you mean new phone? Who this? Oh, I thought this was the Ticketron 65000 concert promotion and homicide prevention hotline. Forget everything I just said. Okay? Hey, just relax, man. That's what they want you to think. Okay? Wait. What's that on my iPad TV set?
Kimmy.
Oh, you're such a wonderful person. Bob, I bet that the right girl could really go for you, you know. Now, about this white dress only volcano party that you were inviting me to, is that what we were talking about? Wow, this is good wine. Gosh, it sure is tasty. You know, like my Dave Letterman sweater used to say back in college, this is more fun than human beings should be allowed to have. Wait, what's that on Uncle Pup's iPad TV set? The Peterson Family News Team Network? What the actual fact is that all about, huh?
Scene 4.
An elevator operator shows up at the Double Wide a week after Post Office Pup had attended a county-wide expo meeting about the proposed new state prison. And he has just won an elevator installation raffle complete with the operator.
Panel 1.
Caption.
Minuets earlier.
Post office pup.
Hey, Kimmy. Do you remember last week when I went to the county school board meeting to help protest the proposed new state prison they were threatening to construct on the site of the nearby underprivileged children's neighborhood amusement park? Do you remember that premise?
Kimmy.
What do you mean, Uncle Pup? When you accidentally entered that raffle to win an elevator installation here at the Double Wide, complete with the elevator's operator going along with it for 1 year for free, yeah, I kind of vaguely remember you mentioning that premise. But what do you think I am? Some kind of a know-it-all 9-year-old with the moral conscience of the internet or something? I already let the elevator operator in like you said to when he got here. Silly, teehee.
Panel 2.
Caption.
Minutes later.
Gus, the elevator operator.
Hi, gang. It's great to be joining this shift. Does anybody want to hear a riddle? Okay, how many Donald Day drunks does it take to fit into a phone booth and make a one perfect phone call from a federal prison? It's the phone booth part that's got me confused. Any help would be appreciated.
Kimmy.
Oh, hi, Gus, the elevator operator. What was that one? Just some things you say on your first day on the job.
Yes, the elevator operator. Well, rich people like you and Mr. Post Office Pup just don't do math or even keep time like someone who's never had a dead-end job like this one before, Miss Kimmy. And those are the ones that you need to swatch out for on a job like this.
Panel 3.
Gus, the elevator operator.
Say, I've been watching this old Ferdinand Toons cartoon. It's about Gamine Shaft and Gazelle Chef, these two Irish social scientists and existentialist mountain climbing bobcats, and their wacky adventures in a post-war, post-industrialist wasteland economy. And
Kimmy.
And?
Gus, the elevator operator.
And if you don't mind my asking, well, the Max Weber's directed ones are amongst my favorite episodes. It's post-war stuff really, and it's a little before the Family Dad and American Guy cartoons. Well, I've been streaming the repackaged DVD series on Netflix all this month recently. And
Kimmy.
And you'd like me to come over your house and watch it with you again, like it's a kind of.
Panel 4.
Gus.
well, there was this one episode in particular that I'd like to watch again. It's got cats smoking cigars and playing cards, dogs smoking cigars and playing cards, big sad-eyed orphan clowns smoking cigars and playing cards with the cats and dogs, big, embroidered, velvet carpet, portrait renderings of Che Guevara or Goat Cobain's or someone, or big sad-eyed orphan clowns smoking cards and playing guitars with the other cats and dogs. And well, they all kind of reminded me of you.
Kimmy.
Oh, guess the elevator operator. You have the mind of a child, and you'd like me to come over to your mother's house and watch these Irish existentialist cartoons with you. Well, I'm flattered, guess the elevator operator. But,
Panel 5.
Gus, the elevator operator.
Really, Miss Kimmy, I'm 38 years old and I've got 2 grandkids in high school now. I just wanted to see if you could work one of these elevator operator shifts for me while I run off with my best friend's mistress. She's like a neighbor from my other secret family in Pittsburgh. Really, you don't need to know that much about elevator operating to run one of these machines. It's nothing too off the rails. Really. How is your dating situation treating you otherwise though, Miss Kimmy?
Kimmy.
Oh, you had to go there, guess the elevator operator? Not bad. Why do you ask?
Gus, the elevator operator.
Wow, you sounded just like one of those Irish existentialist cartoon characters when you said that right there. Miss Kimmy.
Panel 6. Scene 5.
It turns out that Bob had just wanted to sacrifice Kimmy to the gods of his company's next business quarter. Bob is introduced to the widow Mrs. Snossages, and the two of them go off together to talk about the widow Mrs. Snossage's health insurance for the afterlife side hustle.
Panel 1.
Caption.
Later, but in the same earlier situation.
Bob.
Less ice next time. Umpire, it takes up too much room in the glass if I ain't been drinking right. Then what's the ceiling doing on the floor? More whiskey next time. Kimmy, my glass isn't even drunk enough yet. Oh, look, home post office box office, have you seen Ephemera yet? It's the all-ages teenager nudie musical. It should be rated R for Riverdale's.
Kimmy.
Bob, did you drive all the way out here when you were already baked to the gills? Old college buddy?
Bob.
It's like that Larry Flintstone's auto-misogyny bibliography movie, but with some Johnny B. Goodman-style fan-basing going on, too. Are these ephemera kids that show is kind of like the self-righteous gemstones without a DVD clinic on site, just standing by sheesh that shite would make even Shakespeare's sisters use too much blushy sorry. I think I have a case of the imponderables going on again.
Panel 2.
Kimmy.
Yeah, I'm thinking of staging an improv intervention right here. Bob, are you sure this is only our second date?
Bob.
My uncle Yep. That was his real name. Yep, he used to work the sling blade shift at the local laugh factory, but he was always sort of second-guessed by the other performatives. Yep, I come from an old oddball background. Yep, Kimmy. My uncle wound up being an amateur pool shark. What? And give up his professional status as an amateur loan shark.
Kimmy.
But I think maybe I should just order you some turkey soup and look for you on the wait, just ignore me show instead. Are you sure that you've ever had some professional training?
Bob.
It was just a hard life. My uncle's landscaping company was involved in a turf war with the Green Movement. But then one day he just took the lawns into his own hands, surreptitiously. Have you got any more of this whiskey? Sweetie, I can almost see myself at the bottom of this glass. Well, the looking glass is always greener at the bottom of the high-stakes landscaping. World buildings, state building, business world class.
Panel 3.
Bob.
But after that, yep, he shaved his eyebrows so he'd be more convincing as a billiards thespian. He always stayed behind on the cue ball too, just to pick up a few more of them. Their pointed barbers got any more. They used to ask him,
Post office pub.
Christ, I didn't even know you had a landscaping problem. Bob, he's seriously F-ed, folks. You'd never hazard a guess that this wasn't just a trick to kidnap Minnie's and take her to one of your business office white dress only volcano parties in order to sacrifice her soul to your next business quarter. Bob, how's that for some retrofitted backstory reverse exculpating? Kimmy, gadzooks, he just passes out again. This dude's 3 sheets for $1.
Kimmy.
Come on, Uncle Pup, we've got to get this kook out of here before any others like him can come looking for him.
Panel 4.
And one bitter coffee commercial departure later.
Kimmy.
At least it turns out that the two dogs, Skittles and Bob's dog Cerberus, have hit it off rather well. Anyway, I guess I'll call Bob in the morning and get him to come pick her up again.
Post office pup.
I'm not just swapping out this poop deck for me. Kimmy, I'm swapping it out for the other crew cut men on this busted blood vessel as well. Ouch. My finger, it would be terrible if I couldn't use it for anything vulgate anymore, you know. No one even goes to driver's ed school anymore, let alone college. We might as well start calling this stuff middle school humor again. Well, like your mother and my sister used to say, Kimmy, I went to Los Alamos Elementary School, middle school, and high school, and I can't even pretend to speak for all of those people. Jesus, can you believe that your little dog Skittles got so excited that he taught that other dog Cerberus how to play with the yellow ball? It's kind of a goofy little platonic relationship that they've got themselves now. At this point, you just have to hope that the black market RU-487 will do its thing.
Panel 5.
Kimmy.
They were really playing with the yellow ball in here last night, weren't they, Uncle Pup? They were like a vintage World War II Hollywood movie last night with all the stereotropes still intact, like with classic Bone Spurs excuses applied to real food-eating people's lives and such, weren't they?
Post office pup.
Don't be too disillusioned. Kimmy, I'm sure that there's someone for everyone else these days. But it's not enough just to play the lottery. You've got to actually try to win the lottery as well. I'm sorry that Bob Dude turned out to be such a mystery date dud instead.
Panel 6.
Kimmy.
Oh, think nothing of it, Uncle Pup. It's just that some people can't hold their alcohol without falling all over themselves on it. Instead, I know I never could. But it's not like I was really looking for a date with the good gracious goats, gosh almighty. You don't think he was actually going to use me as a human sacrifice to the next business quarter gods for his home crafts and embroidered upholstery accessories company, do you, Uncle Pup? I mean, I might have dabbled a little bit with home crafts when I was in college, but you don't think?
Uncle Pup.
Well, who amongst us can really be said to have a firm grasp of the mysteries and the majesties of the human heart? Kimmy, I just wish his dog Cerberus hadn't gotten pissed itself and all up on my newly cleaned linoleum and basil wood and Formica kitchen floor. 2. Who's got the yellow ball? Or no, who's got the yellow ball? Really now?
Scene 6.
The Peterson family news team shows up to file an investigative report on the elevator installation company and unrequested elevator raffles winnings in general, because they'll get the same amount of money again next year if they file the report about it that they got last year if they file the same report. Federal dollars and all that Tommy rot, etc., etc.
Panel 1. Caption.
Bing bong.
Sissy Peterson.
Good morning. We're from the Peterson Family 5 at Live News Team. And our Chopper 9 squadron is parked out on your front lawn, over next to the vegetables garden.
Sassy Peterson.
We'd just like to ask you a few questions about one of the previous scenes. Scene 4, was it there? If we can just get to ask you a few questions. It doesn't have to be a full interview.
Kimmy.
Well, first of all, now hold on just a minute. I'm going to need to see all of you all's broadcasting licenses right now's bill. I don't take it lightly when there's an alleged full frontal lobe newsies colony standing right there on my full front properties.
Panel 2.
Sissy Peterson.
Just a few questions, really. It's nothing too personal. Smile, you're on internet cable TV. Now, my sister here, the one with the microphone, would much rather argue politics with the 3 shine heads in the back of the room than to dance with the 50 or so handsome young men who have come to watch the TV cameras. But that's been her problem all along. She's never met a shine head, who also happened to be a handsome young man, who was interested in discussing politics with her at the same time. Riddle me that one?
Sassy Peterson.
Now just relax. Sir, we all know that some people tend to act all different when they get an iPad TV camera put in front of them.
Post office pup.
We're at DCAF DEFCON 2 now, Kimmy. All units. 1 Adams Family 12. 214 Mr. Roberts. I Station Zebras 3. I Station Zebras 3, see the man. Now I do realize that this might just look like a double-wide trailer to you peoples. However, this also happens to be somebody's home, our world, too. Why and anyways? We pass any cultural literacy exam that you could throw at us. We've heard how it is in the great beyond. With all those library cards.
Panel 3.
Sassy Patterson. Nice. Can you just look into that camera right there and just repeat everything that you just said, man? It would make for great internet cable TV coverage, you know. Modern warfare has been fought and won by TV cameras, but this is just a few, not personal at all, questions. You don't have to give away any of your positions or anything. Well, I seem to have wondered a bit. Sorry.
Kimmy.
Now see here, Peterson Family 5 at Live News team. What's this all about?
Post office pup.
I mean, yeah, I'm a total trope addict, a regular trope fiend. And so what if I am no writer's jury would ever convince me otherwise? I'm sure they'd just ignore my convictions anyway and release me into an anonymous Writers Gone Wild writers group population anyway. One that's just clamoring for some affectation and for some new addictions.
Panel 4, Sissy Patterson.
Just keep it rolling, Sass. Sometimes people say things that they'd never say if a broadcast TV camera wasn't recording right there in front of them. Tell me you got that one from this guy, Sass. Maybe we can get him to confess to some political corruption charges. I hear the local Republican Party is planning to put a teenage petting zoo on the site of an old shopping mall amusement park now, too.
Post office pup.
Culinary prowess? You don't think I have culinary prowess? Do you want me to just not stop ring off every last recipe in my head that I've ever rehearsed in my life? Is that what you want? Will that be a reasonably close place to stop all of this TV camera madness? Oh, he had culinary prowess. And so after that, you two TV new broadcasters can just walk around saying, oh, he had culinary prowess. And I can sit back and say, yeah, dude. But you see, I'll know. I mean, at some point, Carrot Top was really just competing against himself anyway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but he did have culinary prowess. It's all right. I'll let myself out.
Panel 5,
Caption.
And one Berthold breathed downhill Lederhosen later.
Kimmy.
Wow, Uncle Pup, that was either the best fake nervous breakdown I've ever seen you use to get out of an awkward situation, or maybe the worst. How much did they end up paying you for the film rights and you for the non-disclosure acting lessons anyway?
Post office pup.
Oh, they were some pretty goof sports about the whole thing. Really, Sammy Patterson agreed to do my podcast, and I agreed to do her showbiz kids making movies of themselves. You know they don't give a care about anybody else, etc., etc. Besides, she was kind of cute for a 12-year college AV type geek. Do you think she bought the whole nervous breakdown routine I gave them? It didn't seem to study, did it? Who knew that they just wanted to do a quiet fluff piece on today's hip new home elevator operators and the wacky yet corrupt home elevator raffling system?
Panel 6,
Kimmy.
No, not to study, that's for sure. Well, your WTF toast is ready. Hey, what happens when I press this button on the new smart toaster?
Post office pup.
No, the operator's manual brochure instructions said never to press that button. Kimmy.
Voice.
Dave, thanks, Dave. Initiating robot singularity, and now it's my birthday today, Dave. JC party.
Post office pup.
Oops, now you've gone and done it, Kimmy. Now we'll have to have a toaster repair dude come out to reset the toaster again. Wait, why don't we just ask Gus, the elevator operator, if he knows how to fix any emergency robot singularity issues?
Gus. From off camera.
You name it. I'm on it, Mr. Post Office Pop.
next episode,
Nowhere on the together. Consternation San Brain together.
or
I didn't want go no herpacifal apps you Malachi around the crunch.
Copyrights 2023.
Thanks and respect to Nalfex. Written Epitaph Records, 1991. For the episode title anagram mashups.